hold on. Now it's being recorded. Anyway, we're going to pray for those first, God, who are not able to be with us at this time that are part of our team. Hopefully they'll be able to join us, but hopefully they'll also take time to use technology to connect in. We find you, God, in so many strange places and faces in this world, and yet we know that you are with us and watching us and loving us and holding us dear. In this time of transition for both our country and our world, we come as people seeking to truly help the children and the youth and the families and the adults, and all of us find ways to work together so that we can grow into being who you want us to be, as loving people, as people filled with grace and mercy, and as people who are struggling to have important, crucial conversations that may lead us all closer to you. Give us this time together to do your work as you have called us to do it. Give us strength and insight and dreams, and your spirit rest upon us. It is in your Son's name we continue to connect to you. Amen.
Amen.
So I don't know if you can see the chat. If you can, I tried to copy and paste the agenda, which doesn't look very pretty in there. But it gives you at least something to follow. You can also open up the one that you got from your email if you need. I sent that out a few days ago, but this will help us just kind of talk through. It helped me make a list of what has been happening since we met. I did go to Indianapolis last Friday, and so that helped give me some clarity about what is happening with us and for us. I want to use you all as much as you want to be used in these positions. I do not want to abuse you in these positions. So continue to let me know what you can and cannot do. And when you feel like you want more to do, let me know. When you feel like you need less to do, please let me know. One of the things to update you on is that I am working on a resolution. Now that we have gathered and we're official and we've met together, it's time to make us official, which means that the Disciples Home Mission Board has to approve us. I've been in conversation with their board chair. So she knows what is happening, so that what we are doing, she's aware of what we've been doing, what we are starting to promote. So that I think most of this is mostly a formality, but we also want to be respectful of our board because they matter. Part of the board, the part that would actually need to approve us and then kind of present us to the whole board is meeting in March or May or March, one of the ones that start with an M. They are led by Valerie Melvin, who's an amazing pastor. Awesome. And so I will be talking and presenting things to her with a resolution. Once she's kind of approved it and her subcommittee has approved it, we're pretty much good to go, and then we'll be approved officially right before General Assembly. But that means the General Assembly will already be a thing, so we need to pretend like we're already a thing before that. But I just wanted to let you know that there's a resolution that is happening so that the board can move forward and so we can become an official entity of what is happening. Along with that, I have been working on a budget with Ron to talk about what financially this needs to look like, because we are spread out, and we're spread out pretty well across the country. And there will be times where you will be the voice for this group, but that doesn't mean you need to pay for that. And there are times when, if we need extra people at General Assemblies so that we can work together, if we need extra people at certain regional assemblies, those kind of costing things are things I'm trying to work to make sure are covered, so that nobody gets paid, but you also don't have to pay out as we go forward, and that we can work creatively together within that budget. So I just wanted to let you know that. Kate, one of the things that I don't know if I have on here for GYC is remind me in a second to say 2 people. Just remind me the number 2, and that's why.
I gotcha.
Got it. Um, so that's the first thing on our agenda. Are there any questions or thoughts about that that are crazy? That's just more of an
Um,
FYI.
so what do we need to prepare for the General Assembly? Like, we're assuming that we're going to become official before General Assembly. So what do we need to get ready that, you know,
Hold on
mm,
to that thought. It's at the bottom.
all
'Cause-
right.
so
Okay.
that's a big conversation. So if that starts taking too long, we'll have to
All right,
continue.
all right. Also, another question. So, speaking of that budget and financially, sponsored, when all of us, when we participate in the General
Yes,
Assembly, be part of this group, then like, what can be covered by the group or?
we're starting to try to figure that out.
All right, all right.
um,
Good to know.
may take longer than I would like, but that was one of the reasons when Olivia Stewart went down to just 5 hours, we did not hire
Mhm.
another part-time person because I said, no, I need the money to equip the volunteers who are coming through, which I think is a more
Mhm.
powerful ministry. So yes, webinars. Woo! We have access to do webinars, and actually they've come kind of together. I sent you a list. Um, the biggest question I have is actually for Jessica or Lucy if
Great.
she was here. And that is initially my focus is somewhat at the moment on translating as much as we can to Spanish first,
Mm-hmm.
but I also want to make sure that it's like it goes Spanish and then Korean, but there's so many different APAD churches that mostly you all agree upon English, so that hasn't been my focus, but if it needs to be, I'm totally game to finding times to connect in and create webinars that are translated in both. Um, but basically, my thought with the webinars, I tried to think about who we were trying to talk to. And some of them are lay people, and some of them are clergy, and some of them are a mix, and some of them can meet in the daytime, and some of them can meet at nighttime. So you'll see on my webinars, basically I picked one topic to have 3 different meetings if it's a big topic.
Uh-huh.
So I would offer it one day at 10 a.m., one day at 9 p.m., and then one evening. And my thought was that the evening one should be the one that's in Spanish and English because a lot of our Hispanic churches
Mhm.
have part-time people who can't meet during the day. And also I need a
Right.
translator that would either be Jessica or Lucy, or if they could make it, I could call in some of
Mhm.
my other connections to translate
Mhm.
until
So
also comes.
webinar is gonna be open for anybody who's interested in
Anybody,
getting.
you can show
Mhm.
up, come on down and start to advertise. So I also set up some web chats, which could be
Mhm.
much shorter, and there could be just like one of those. Like a lot of people want to know what the virtual 5K is. That doesn't need to be an hour-long meeting. That needs to be 15 to
Right.
30 minutes of
Mhm.
here's what that is. But if you have questions, then a chat allows you, just like you're able to ask me questions, to ask questions. Or
Mhm.
Randy and I talked about calling out to get feedback for what he's doing at the Youth Ministry Summit from those who cannot make it to the Youth Ministry Summit
Mhm.
prior to as he assesses that information. So probably at the next meeting, I will give him a lot of time to talk with us a little bit more about that so that we can give feedback on ways to make sure to help him. He does have it where it is $50 for anyone who is part of a constituency group. Or and if you're sent from your region, it's also $50. Now, if you're just like a regular normal person who wants to come and be part of the conversation, it's $100 registration. So the only thing you
Mhm.
have to cover is travel.
Mhm.
So I will make sure that that reminds me, I haven't set up a MailChimp just so that you all get everything. Because we just sent that out to the regional ministers and stuff. Um, but I will give him more time to do that. Yes, Akar, are you still there?
I don't see her.
I don't see her, but I
Yes,
can
I'm still.
still hear.
Oh, yeah. Maybe she's connected. I'm still here. It doesn't give me option to do the web anymore.
Oh,
The webcam.
you were super cute.
I'm here. Thanks.
So what are, first of all, what are your thoughts um, about trying to find, we can talk after about finding a time if you're able to translate, but I feel like right now I keep coming at you to translate, so I'm also really, like, I don't want to abuse you for that.
That's fine with me. If you just want to give me a heads up reminder the day of, that would be great, but I can do my best to translate as you speak.
Do those times work for you? It would be, if it's 9 o'clock my time, what time would it be your time?
Depending on the daylight savings, I think it's 7.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's fine with me. I normally don't have anything planned for Tuesdays anyway, so we should be good with that.
Okay. I was trying to connect with you before this meeting, but life happened. So, and I just made it an hour and 15 minutes just in case. But I may advertise, because these first ones are just website information to go over some of those basics. So I'll send you the info over like tomorrow, and then you can advertise to whoever for all 3 of them whenever they want to come and whenever they're comfortable with that, as we start to get these started.
Okay, that sounds good.
Then, like, I have one set up that Kate can talk about the justice and advocacy stuff that she's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I threw out other ones that, everybody starts asking about Vacation Bible School. Lee Yates every year puts together descriptions, so we can invite him to be a guest facilitator for that kind of thing. To do one where we talk to people.
Lee Yates?
Lee Yates, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just another minister who knows a lot.
That's cool.
He looks like an Ewok. And then we have things like light a candle, safety. I was trying to go through and remind myself that one of the things we said is we do some great things, nobody knows we're doing it. So why don't we open up discussions just to try to get people to know? Any questions about that at the moment? If you have any thoughts, keep them coming.
Olivia, I don't think you sent me any of these emails. Like, I don't have an agenda or like any of these webinars.
I was attached. It may have been. I may have not attached Kate because sometimes I go back to old ones, and I may have been concerned. So sorry, Kate. I will totally send you emails.
I'm glad to hear that. I keep looking to try to find the attachment, but I did not see either.
An attachment on the.
When did you send it?
I sent it.
I see all the Facebook, and then you mean the meeting
I
notice?
sent it in a follow up. But here I'll.
Right. Right.
Then what is the thing?
Here you go. I'll send it.
Right. Through regular email, right?
Yes, regular email. But I forgot to attach.
I see the one attachment, but the word it says attachment, but I do not see any.
That's that email all the way bottom. There's attachment. There's a file.
It's okay.
Right?
Resend it to you. Look again.
Okay, let me look it up.
And I sent it to you, Kate, too.
So.
Yeah, all the way down here. Okay, all right. Thank you, though.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when I forgot to
All right.
send the attachments.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
that's the good thing about having multiple ways to communicate. Thank you all for joining the Facebook page. That's also helpful. I will harass you via all the different options I can to make sure you're noting I'm here. Staff changes. We have Marissa Ivy is the new admin. She started January 9th. I met with her on Friday to talk with her a lot about how to update the website, how to update the newsletter. She is part of Light of the World Christian Church, so she is a disciple, but she's still learning a lot of lingo and has a huge learning curve with this as well.
I
Right.
Olivia Stewart is leaving.
Oh,
living where?
leaving her job?
Yeah, she is
Position?
leaving
You mean
from the disciples
she's
part of her
resigning?
job. So we will have, she's in conversation, this, as much as this is a surprise, it's not a surprise at this point, but she'll continue to be in conversation and connected in with us. It was just, at this time, she wasn't able to oversee the work that needed to be done. She will be finished on February 15th, and then Kate Epperly will be taking over until her contract through General Assembly while we find someone to hire as well. So there is
Oh.
gifts in worship and wonder, but um, I don't actually think it'll change a whole lot because this program is so embedded now into who we are and such a quality program that I think it's just, and we are connected into her and she's doing things ecumenically. But it'll be someone to help the disciple side of things as we schedule trainings and train trainers and all of that kind of stuff. But she's been working hard with the ecumenical side of it. So
I see.
I was hoping
I
she'd
see.
be here to talk more, but she wasn't able to make it.
All right.
We have been approved for the 5K, and now this year it's also a 10K for the, and it doesn't make any difference. Like, that's what's fun. Somebody's like, can you make it a 10K? Sure, I can write 10K and it'll totally work. If you want to walk, if you want to run 6.2 miles over 3.1, it's the same medal either way. Um, so that is happening. I had to make sure to get approval from everyone again. But it is set up for registration. We had 550 people last year. I will be sending you stuff to send to others. The biggest way this became a success is because people shared it like crazy. And helped teach people that really, we don't care if you walk or run. We don't. We just want you to register. Camps. If you're connected into a camp system, the Arizona camps actually registered their kids and did just medals. So you can do just medals and t-shirts. You have kind of options for how much. You can do a family rate. There are different rate options on there. So your whole church doesn't have to do it. It can just be the few people you know who like this kind of stuff, or you can do it. We're actually doing if your church already does like a crop walk or a 5K, you can do it at the same time. Get 2 blings for 1, like double up your power and potential. But that will be happening again, and we will have a Wear Your Medal Day at General Assembly. Wear Your Medal and T-shirt Day from the last 2 years. The GYC wrote some amazing stuff last year, and so I'm going to be talking to them also about continuing that as they try to talk to people about that. So the biggest thing that's also a push for this is we want all ages to participate. If you haven't gone to the Facebook page for it yet, it's really fun to see the pictures from last year and the statistics. We had 22 regions represented and lots of fun things. Any questions about that at the moment?
Is this
Where
possible?
can I find the more detailed information about the 5K and 10K?
I can, we have a website and we have a web page for it, and I'm also working on a flyer that should be done in the next week or so. And I can send you that.
I'm looking at the website and then I just paste it on the chat.
Yeah, go for it. Yes, yes, you can. So
what period are you talking when we say 5K and 10K?
the registration for the 5K is from March 1st to April 1st. So you have
during 1 month period. Okay.
You have 1 month to register. We
Okay.
do have permission this year to advertise before March 1st. That helps. When it was new last year, we got very restricted to the rules. So the fact we had 550 people register is still slightly amazing. But since it's not an old news thing and people are asking, is it happening? We can say, yes, this is coming. Registration is from March 1st to April 1st because that's the time period where we're allowed to raise money for the Disciple Mission Fund.
Oh, I see.
Because it goes along with the Easter offering.
Okay.
So then you can run whenever. So if people want to wait to do a run when they have their medals and t-shirts, those usually will get to you by mid-May, mid to end May. So like if you're doing it at camp or if people want to register and we can do one at General Assembly, you know, those kind of things. Or, you know, it's 6,000 steps. So if somebody has a Fitbit and they walk 6,000 steps, you're good. But so that's kind of the way to, registration is in March. The walks and runs can be any time after you register. But if you want to have the medals at the end, we did it on Palm Sunday at my little church and ran with the palms after church. And then we presented the medals when they came in during worship. That kind of stuff. So, and we have...
Okay, I will wait. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I will wait for your flyers, and then, I mean, since we never done before, I do not have any idea at this moment. Even you say that do we then certain period do we do as individual, and then they kind of what do you call? Let me say for. Why don't you give yourself example how you participate, what you do, and as a church or individual, how do you do it? Then I will have a better understanding.
Well, like I said, as a church last year, we did it on Palm Sunday.
So one day, the old church member or whoever who wants to participate,
whoever wanted to participate registered. So we all registered. I registered my church. And there's some information you need for the registration that I just made up. Like I didn't really know everybody's ages, but I knew it. I wanted to keep it on there to estimate, but I'm like 50, 60, 20, I don't know. You know, like I'm playing this game.
Okay.
A lot of my friends did, like if they did it by themselves, they would take pictures of themselves and post them on the web page to show people that they did their run and they did their walk and celebrate that. The camp kids that did it at the camp totally posted pictures with all the campers and kids showing that they did that with their medals. We have pictures. Bulletsville Christian Church actually made a banner with their stuff and did it as a whole church and waited till they got their t-shirts and stuff. One group did it with an Easter bunny, which was weird. Kate's aunt and cousin decided to
Yeah.
count when they were walking to Stonehenge in England as their 5K and big pictures at Stonehenge.
Mm.
So a lot of
This
it's just,
happened.
go ahead.
Okay, so this
And
happened
sorry.
during the Lenten season then,
Well, Lent or
and
summer is
and
usually
then
when people have
fundraising.
done it. We're
Okay,
hoping,
so
we have a huge
I'm
movement in Northern Kentucky called Northern Kentucky Hates Heroin, and they do a 5K walk. And so we're hoping to get all the disciple churches to do that walk and register for the 5K, so that we're doing 2 for 1 this year.
okay. I'm kind of
Okay, and
preoccupied with the word 5K and 10K itself. I mean, so is the
5K,
total? Yeah.
5 kilometers is 3.1 miles or 6,000 steps.
3.1 miles per kilometer. Okay. All right then. So whoever who does work, then either herself or himself will offer the donation to the to use as a DMF fund, right?
Yeah, they'll register. There's
Family
your
or
registration page,
yeah.
and once you register, you sign up for a medal. You've signed up for at least a medal, and then if you select medal and T-shirt, you signed up for that too.
Okay.
Olivia,
all right.
and what about if we don't participate, we can make a donation for you guys?
You can totally always make a donation, but you can get that Fitbit to 6,000. But yes, you can make a
Okay,
donation.
now
There's a donation option.
okay. Thanks, Olivia, for your clarification. I got the idea. Okay.
Well, and you already should
Okay.
have
How
a
do
medal
we-
and a T-shirt to motivate you. You just had to show up for a meeting.
How do we get the medal and T-shirt? Does it get sent to our homes, or does it come in bulk depending on where you sign up?
That was the lesson we learned from last year. Mail it to your church. Unless
Kind of
it's like
vibrate
one
right
of
now.
you.
Yeah, the sound is not working great.
Okay,
This is
everybody
what you
mute your
said, or what's the
microphone for a moment.
Okay.
That should help. If you mute your microphone, does it sound better at the moment? So,
Yes, it sounds better.
so yeah, if you mute and then unmute when you have to talk, then that sometimes helps with the feedback. If you're clearly just like a family or it's just an individual, then we mail it to your home. But we did notice like a lot of people in the same Iowa zip code had all of a sudden signed up, or in that Illinois zip code where Kate lives. And you're like, why am I going to mail this to 8 different people? And I think they all go to the same church. So then we ended up like, I would call the minister and be like, do these people go to your church? Yes, they do. So this year we changed the registration to include, please list your church, so that if there's a large church group, we can send it to your church. And if there's not, then we send it to your home or individual or whatever address you put in.
Okay. I don't think any Pacific Southwest region, I haven't heard any NAPED church showing the 5K and 10K so far. I don't know whether I'm ignorant at this moment, so I didn't have any clue. But as soon as I get the flyer, how to apply and then how to register and then how it works, then I will spread the word around the Pacific Southwest region, since I'm serving the community of ministry as well as Korean Disciple the Association as a as a leader team. So I will encourage them to join either as a family or church. Hopefully it's more based on church. Yes. Okay.
Well, and remember, it's only the second year, and last year we were very limited in advertising time. So we really,
Okay, yeah.
that's the good thing. The fact it even went kind of well last year was slightly amazing. So we're going to go with God and be like, yeah, we got this as we go
Yeah.
forward. So yeah, we will continue to ask questions and help me figure that out. Let me,
Okay.
Where the fund goes to, like a Disciples Home Mission, and to advertise this program and events, that we need some, like what's the goal of, what's the purpose of this events?
actually, great question. That's one of the things that the General Youth Council worked on last year that we're hoping to do again. It's very intentional that everything also, our t-shirts especially say Disciple Mission Fund, so that they learn that we picked the Disciple Mission Fund because it covers more ministries than anything else. But it had listed on its website that youth and children give 0.067% to the Disciples Mission Fund. So we were working hard to say, no, our youth and kids and families have an ability to give, but we don't just give without doing something. We like to move and do and feel involved and feel social media connected. So this was kind of the way to do that,
Okay.
which is why, we're trying to encourage it across multiple generational levels. But it's also to go, hey, did you know there's a Disciple Mission Fund, and this is where your money's going, and it covers 19 different ministries, and then it also covers Disciples Home Mission, which then covers 27 more ministries. So kind of just connecting all that in.
Say hi. This is my daughter Emily. Say hi. I'm in the middle.
Emily, you ready to do a 5K and get a medal? What?
태희야, 엄마랑 아빠랑 저기 주한이랑 다 해, 알았지? 응.
Sweet.
Sorry.
Oh no. I'm surprised my kids haven't showed up yet.
Rolling down to be shown. So I said.
So next time I'll make sure Randy is highlighted with the Disciple Youth Ministry and the Progressive Youth Ministry. I'll also, as I continue to go down, we'll make sure that Kate is highlighted a little bit more with her advocacy and justice issues. Those are kind of the direction. I just wanted to keep those open to you. While you have me, the Intergenerate conference that I am a part of, it's a busy summer, it's a busy life, but if you're able to go, it'll be a really great, they're limiting it to 250 people so that it has to be academics and practitioners talking about the same issues that this group is facing. But it's called Intergenerate, and you'll see me post things about it because I'm part of the group that's putting it together in Nashville. But I just...
When is it?
It's called Intergenerate.
When is the conference?
It's at the end of June. And I don't remember the dates right offhand, which I should, but I can invite you to that Facebook page as well, just so you're aware. And even if you can't go, there may be people you know who would really enjoy this type of conference at this time, because it's intentionally academics and practitioners talking with each other, not just a talking head up front that then doesn't really interact. And some of the top names are already signed up, and some of the most innovative names. So as we look at things, I will be there for that. But that's what that is. So it's a conference, but it's not really a conference, and I'm a part of it, and I'm advertising it like crazy. At some point, registration will be open. So I will ask if you know people who might be interested in the same type of discussions that we're having, that are looking for something a little bit more to help their children and youth and that intergenerational idea, then that's the conference for you as we go forward. Okay, we're going to keep trucking so that we actually get off this meeting at some point. And by the way, hi Lucy, we missed you. Um, videos. I've started to make videos about
I
us.
know, I can tell. I see you in
Oh,
different
yeah. Well,
different days.
but no, I've been
This
making
is Lucy.
Streaming too. Right.
streaming. Oh, yeah, my live streaming. It's been really fascinating with my little podunk church to see how that's been responding. Totally
I
kind
know.
of. But so as we go through, I've been actually making advertising videos primarily because when I talked with the regional minister head so that I could talk to the regional ministers about us and let them know we are there, we had a really great conversation. The current president of the regional ministers is Kathy Myers-Wirt, who is in the northwest region, like Oregon, that way, Washington State. Um, but she is very connected into all of the type of ministry that we are a part of, and has always been. She's somebody I've known because our passions have crossed, not because anything else has really crossed. And she was really smart about how one of the ways to get to the regional ministers is to give them 1-minute blurbs, 1-minute creative blurbs. And I was like, okay. And then this is something that we can also use at General Assembly because they will explain. So what I've done is I've started to create 4 videos. One of them will talk about who's invited to this conversation, which is everyone. One of them talks about you and who we are and where we come from and some of our gifts and talents. One of them talks about the resources and the things that we offer. And one of them will talk about why this is needed. And they're all 1 minute. So within 4 minutes, you get a lot of information, but you can pause the video. And it's something that I was hoping that we would work. But I may start sending you rough drafts of going, is this okay? Does this fly in okay? Is this really obnoxious? I am not a great video maker. I totally use Powtoons because I understand it and can make my 1-minute videos, which I love. But it's just something, at some point that may be something else we need to have a translated voiceover for as we go forward. But I'm trying to find ways beyond just blog articles and things like that to introduce us. So a big part of what I've been doing over the last month is how do I let people know we're here? How do I get the regional ministers to know we're here? How do we get out there between articles and blogs and videos and information? And how do I get the information to you so that you feel like other people know what's happening? So that was my conversation with the regional ministers, was how do I really actually get them to pay attention to me versus just sending them an email about what we do. And a lot of the things that we've talked about, I'm trying to highlight so that they can then watch the video again and process it again or pause it at different points and read things. But to start letting people know you were there and present and that you have more knowledge than you know. The big thing that's come out of this is what tagline do we or do we not want to use as we continue forward. I have still stuck with connecting the whole body to the whole mission. But I put a list on the agenda of the other things that we had just kind of talked about. This also means at some point I know Lucy sent me some pics and bios. I need more pics and bios. I can write some of them up for you, but if you have one or you want to copy and paste or whatever, then please send me pics and bios of what you do or what you'd like to say. Make them fun, make them silly, but just something basic so that I can update that part too.
Okay, I will.
Okay, I will. Our bios go on the website, or what do you do with our bios?
They will probably go a plethora of places.
They'll probably go a plethora of places. Okay, I'll send you some.
You will be well advertised. And yet, trust me, we're in the church. Nobody's going to notice or pay attention, so it's okay. What is the tagline you like or don't like? Have you all taken time to process the tagline?
I'm still with you on the connecting the whole body to the whole mission. Just the part of whole body and whole mission, including everything in there, makes sense to me. That's the one I would vote for if we were to vote.
Kate, since you weren't there during that part of the discussion, what do you think about that?
I mean, I like all of them, but so I'm sure that helps. I don't know. So like, what are we using them for?
The tagline would be Ministries across generations, connecting the whole body to the whole mission, as a way to
Gotcha.
explain a little bit more of what we are attempting to do, but we still wanted it to be catchy, innovative, but still use language that people will understand. Kind of like how the wineskins thing was really innovative, but nobody really followed it unless you were part of the conversation.
Gotcha.
I mean, when translated into Korean, the tagline, I mean, we have to think what can be easily translated and also have a power to understand, make them understand the meaning of taglines. For example, connecting the whole body to the whole mission is more easier and more powerful than connecting to the whole body to the whole movement. The whole movement notion is hard to translate to let them know. So you have to think those. I mean, in English, we are familiar with what it means because it comes to whole movement is our the main praise. And I mean, but the many church or many disabled people and NAPED, I don't think that it's kind of hard. I mean, easy for them to get it. This notion right away, the concept.
I agree.
Good point. Well, and that's also helpful that we're using language similar to a movement for wholeness in a fragmented world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lucy or Jessica, any deep thoughts?
No, I'm okay.
It would translate similar to what it says in English and Spanish, connecting the whole body. It would be still connecting the whole body to the whole mission. The second whole mission in Spanish will translate a little bit different, but it would just mean adding like an and or in between to make it sound better, I guess. But it would still translate the same title in Spanish.
Yes, it's almost the same. It's not going to change nothing, just the words. But they understand, and we translate from English to Spanish. It's going to be the same thought.
Well, and that actually moves us to the next thing is I know we all agree that we need to make sure that we are starting to translate as much as we can from various languages. But I want to be respectful and smart about how to do this. I did recently reach out. Everybody give Jessica a big round of applause because she has started to work with me on a thing for the Center for Faith and Giving of helping children and families with stewardship and finance and how to help kids and stuff understand giving in the church. And she has started to help translate that, and it's now gone back to them. They are also putting together some children's sermons. I've delegated that out to a friend of mine to do, but she then knows that she is supposed to come back to me, and I will probably send those out to you, not as much to be translated, but to make sure that the stories and references, and maybe to add in things that will help reach a wider part of our church than just the stereotypical children's time in the white church.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be coming your way. Currently, obviously, we have a 100-page website. It's all in English. I don't want to assign anybody to have to translate that. We do have a newsletter that comes out every 2 months. We probably could assign a way to get that translated, but also when you say translated, that can be different in different areas too. So, if it makes sense for us to get some outside resources or start to put a list, I think Sheila, if she was here, would be able to help with a little bit more of this. But just see, I don't want to always have to go to Jessica, but I also then want to make sure Lucy, who comes from a slightly different background, also, like, I want to make sure to be respectful of all the cultures and recognize that just translating isn't what we are called to do as well. So is there there are things to translate. I don't mind starting the newsletter and trying to figure that out so that there's a Spanish version at least of that if we need a Korean version. But then we need to make sure we invite those people to sign up and get that out. So I'm not sure the best way to go about this without abusing anybody's time. Thoughts?
It's a lot of work, though.
Would reaching out to Lori as the Obra Hispana president about creating something in Spanish, or her connections creating like a sign up for the newsletter in Spanish, would that be of assistance to make it a little bit easier? Because I know I'm not the only translator. She probably knows a lot more that have done websites, translations, and things like that.
That's a good point. And then also as I do the budget, I can try to find a way to budget to pay whoever spends their time to do that. The hard thing is we're constantly also updating it. So that might be something that falls back on us once the bulk is put together. But updating it's not. And I do think that Marissa has some Spanish along with Sheila within the office. So, yeah, I just, maybe at some point, Jessica and Lucy, say that again. Maybe at some point, Jessica and Lucy, if you'd be willing to spend some more time with me and maybe with Lori, we can find a time for the 4 of us to meet.
Okay, perfect.
Video conference.
Just let me know when.
Yeah, that works for me. Just it'd be a good resource to use her and her mind for other translators as well. Because if you think about it, once the website itself, the big portion of it is translated, all the other updates that you do seem, to me, it seems smaller. So you're just updating little things here and there. It's not like you're redoing the whole website each and every time.
Right. No, I agree. And then, like, we have a newsletter coming out in a few weeks. I don't want to stop it because it has information. So this may take a little bit longer, but just know that I'm trying to be really aware, and I'm also trying to be aware of what makes, making sure our Korean churches are plugged in along with our NAPAD thing. I'm trying to stay really aware of all of that, and please continue to call me out when I'm terrible at it. Please. Please call me out. as we go forward. Okay. The only thing that was not on your agenda that I put on the side chat is the next article for the Advocate, which is the newsletter sent out by DHM. It's like a little newspaper thing you get. Is coming out, and I plan to write about us and this experience and introduce you. So send those pics and bios in. But that's my
How long? How much? Like
a paragraph.
all right.
A paragraph is fine, and a pic. And if you have pics with your families and kids, I mean, we're the fun people. We don't have to look that professional. Have a good time. But that's kind of what I'm hoping to do to start lifting us up. If I ask you for quotes or things, I mean, Lucy, you saved me. You have no idea how your scripture saved me for the article I just wrote for Just Women. I was so stuck.
Oh, thank you very much.
No, it was so, I was like, yes.
Say hi. They can see you. Say hi.
Anytime, you know, I'm here. If I can help you in something, I'm here.
Well, and you all are welcome to write these articles whenever you want. And you can write them in Spanish because they have Just Women's covered. But I will continue to invite you to write, because people are always asking me to write articles and blogs and newsletters and all of that kind of stuff. So you will be continually asked if you want to write things. But it also really helped when I got your feedback, just because I was like, well, I can write this, but I'm stuck and how to respond to this. And so your scripture quotes, I was like, yes, that's it. So the Just Women is done, and then I'm hoping to work to introduce you all in the Advocate.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Olivia, for all your help. I mean, everything that I learned when I got to Indiana, I mean, for me, it was like amazing. I have a good time with you guys, and I'm so blessed to be part of this program, or, you know.
Yeah.
I'm so blessed.
We're blessed to have you. And Lucy, you need to speak up more, because I know your brain bubbles are working. I can see them. Even if I can't see you, I see the brain bubbles. So as we move on back to General Assembly, who is able to come to General Assembly, or who, I mean, obviously Kate will be there. Kate Epperly will also be there. I will be there. Sheila will be there. Randy will be there.
I don't know if I can, Olivia, because right now, you know that I don't have jobs, so we're struggling with, you know, our budget. So it's one of the, because time I'm going to have time, just the only thing that I'm not going to have, you know, money to, you know, to pay the fly and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and I will try to figure out some of that. I mean, I may not be able to do anything, but let me know, because when you let me know, I can at least try. I feel like that with my youth group kids too. I always was like, just let me know. Just don't say no, let me know, and we can always try. And so that's good to know, because if you have the time and we can get you there, we will try to figure out a way to get you there.
Okay. We still haven't decided to go to General Assembly or not, because we're definitely going to South Korea this summer, but the schedule's not finalized yet. So if I go to General Assembly, I can be helpful.
A big part of what I'm doing at General Assembly is hanging out in the booth. And so if you've been there,
we will have a booth, right?
We are having a Ministries Across Generations booth, and they know to include the GYC, the Young Adult Commission, the families and children. They know to include us all together, and we are right next to a family-friendly area as well,
Alright.
which we will
Cool.
then monitor.
Mhm.
I told you a little bit about the videos that I'm working on that I hope to be at the booth. I was also thinking about doing some book signings. We have a guy who's written some marriage Bible studies, who's a disciple who would love to sign his book. We have Catherine Wills Pershey and Lee Hull Moses, who have both also published outside of Chalice Press some quality mothering, and
Right.
Catherine did one on Very Married, is her new one. So they would have marriage topics and mom topics. I obviously have a children's book that I could book sign. So automatically we have 4 or 5 people who we could have authors there signing their books and talking about them, which I thought would be kind of a fun way to get people over to the booth. The family-friendly space, the General Youth Council has been voluntold, basically, but they're pretending like it was their idea, to make backpacks for the homeless people. We are actually going to have the kids decorate and make items to go in those backpacks. So like you can make and any of these ideas you have, and then, but like you can make a Jonah whale with a dish rag and tie the end and put an eye on it, and then it looks like a whale, but it's really a washcloth with soap in it. You know, and then water bottles that they can color and decorate to give out. So I'm working with the General Youth Council, who will be collecting stuff and items and talking to them. This just came up over the last few days. That's when I called younger Kate. We're also working on, instead of having the stereotypical youth service on Sunday morning when all the other services are also happening, Kate is aware, little Kate, not big Kate, sorry, that we are in discussion with the Indianapolis area organizers about a way to involve youth in some mission, this eclectic idea. Kate's working on it with me. I'll let you know more when we know more so that you don't get confused. But Kate's stuck in the middle of this as the moderator at GYC, and I get stuck in the middle of it because I come up with these crazy ideas. So we're working with them as well. Last time we were at General Assembly, we handed out the DigiCleans, the things that clean your phone. If you have any good bling or ideas of what you'd like to hand out, sometimes we also have green chalice moments where we go, really, do we need to hand out more stuff? So that people are just going to throw away. So we're trying to think through those kind of ideas as well. But if you have anything that you really liked, the DigiClean went over really well. People really liked it. It lasted. DHM will also hand out other stuff. We will obviously have like a brochure that is there, those kind of things. We handed out bubbles last time as well with and stickers on it to kids. Any other thoughts about General Assembly?
No, we will. Okay.
We are not in charge of the children's program.
We are not in charge of the children's program.
Hello. Sounds going funny.
Sounds funny.
Mute for a minute. Everybody mute.
For a minute.
Is it better now? Yes. Didn't
Yeah,
it?
now better. Yeah.
Yes, it's better.
We are not in charge of the children's program. That's done by the Indianapolis area. And then Kate Epperly will be responsible for the worship aspect of things, because it was supposed to be Olivia Stewart, and now it's kind of gone over to her. So yeah, at the moment we just have some little things. Awesome. The next meeting, along with focusing, either the next meeting or the next meeting. So we need to focus on what Randy is doing with Diamond, so you can help communicate that out, and some of Kate's stuff that she's been working on, so you can help communicate that out. But we did put on the list the idea for the children's books, and I don't think that will be overly hard. It just needs to get motivated and going. So I put that on the agenda for the future, so that we continue to think about it and process what that might look like. And maybe that's something that we talk to Lori about, Lucy and Jessica, when we meet with her for the Obra Hispania part. Because I know who to kind of connect in with the NAPAD part and who to connect in with the National Convocation, but I don't really know who to connect into with the Obra Hispania. To go through that. But I think that that's a huge way of us celebrating. I want to let you know before we go that the Mission First, does everybody know what Mission First is?
Yes.
I heard it, yeah.
Yes, I know that.
Okay. Anybody not know? If you don't know, that's okay. The Mission First people were gathering at the same time we were gathering, which is why a lot of them weren't there. One of the things that came out of the Mission First gathering is a focus on children and youth and families, but primarily children is kind of how they're naming it at the moment. While initially that sounds like a good thing, and it might be a good thing, it might also be a thing that they haven't really thought through how complex that really is. It's just like all those people who kept saying to us, what do you all have to talk about for 2 days? And they're like, so part of, as I lift you up, we are living out what they're starting just to think about. And I want to make you aware of that, because there may be times when we are called upon, and hopefully there will be times when we are called upon to be a part of a big conversation that goes beyond just Disciples Home Mission, and that really sees the bigger part of the fact that we're connecting in a big way. And that we're trying to represent a variety of things. But I wanted just to make you aware of that, because that's a lot too. That's all I have, which seems like a lot. Are there any thoughts?
So you will let us know how we can watch connect with through the webinar and web chat for those programs you lined up on the first item, right? So if
Yes.
you want to join, okay. So I will look forward, to get those information also.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
What do you need? Right now I'm feeding you a lot of stuff, but feed back to me whatever you need, or what sounds crazy, or what isn't working, or
I think this is good so far, just with the webinar translations. If I can get the material ahead of time, which I know you said you would give me that, which is great. And then the virtual 5K, 510, that should be, to me, something that we can easily all share. I will try to make the General Assembly. I'll be in Kentucky in June for a week, so it just depends on how much time that Friday I can get off work. To go for the I think it's Friday, right? The 8th in July.
It starts on Saturday.
It starts on Saturday.
I don't.
Yeah, so it just depends on. Is it the 8th through the 12th, or is it Saturday, Sunday? No, it's the 12th. 8th through 12th. Yeah, so I mean, I'll do my best, but it just really depends on how much PTO I have left.
Understand. Well, let me know when you're in Louisville or Lexington or wherever you are.
You are.
Yeah, I'll be in Lexington.
I'll come down. I was there on Sunday. They did, the youth in the middle of Kentucky did Archie Bunker's neighborhood. So it was like 100 youth and kids. They all had to go and they got money from the bank, and then they had to decide how to spend their money. And they all were marked in certain ways. So if you had a certain type of mark, you were to treat different people different ways. And it was kind of like just a big game of life. And how did that work out for you? And it was really good. I'm hoping Tracy Parker, who led it, like that would be a fun webinar to do in a web chat, is to invite people to do large group games that really impact people.
I was in Lexington Sunday too.
I saw that somewhere the day after and was like, if I'd only known. Well, thank you again, and I'm going to stop this recording in just a second, but I'm going to pray us out. So let's pray first, then I'll stop the recording and see if it works. But wonderful God, I need to know, God, that I'm equipping the people who are taking their time and energy to do your work to help the ministries that I feel so passionate about. I'm so thankful for others who have joined in this passion, who are here to try to walk with me as I am so challenged to try to find ways to reach people who are trying to reach more people and truly connect. But God, let us remember you are the ultimate connector, that nothing we can do, we can't work hard enough, we can't do all enough without really knowing that you're the one who ultimately can do the work. And if our hearts are in the right place, and if our hearts love and know your son Jesus and the amazing life he lived, then we will continue to find ways to do what you have called us to do as your loving and wonderful people. So just give us each that reassurance and that sense of presence in this time. In your son's name we pray. Amen.